So I got the motor painted and it didn't go exactly to plan. The paint looks good. It's really glossy. Alright, the light's not showing up with the camera. But there, you can see it's going to look really good, but my plan for the aluminum fins didn't exactly work out. You know what I wanted to do was, while the paint was still damp, to wipe it off the fin and expose the aluminum on the top. But by the time I got through like half these fins on the top, the paint was already too tacky and I couldn't wipe it off anymore. And plus, these are like really tight spaces, so just trying to wipe off with my finger, I ended up bumping a bunch of stuff I didn't want to. So I think I'm going to take the head off and try and experiment just with that to just sand down the top to what I want, and we'll see if that works. And if not, then all I have to do is repaint the head, not the whole motor, so it's not a big deal. And all the pieces that go with the motor, that goes around the front so the housing can mount to it. It also has the throttle on it, the bottom of the carb bowl, and then the muffler. And over here I just finished sanding and gave the frame and the forks a good bath, so they're all clean, and they should be dry by now. I wiped them out with a towel and used the air compressor, so they're hanging off the ceiling on string. And I'll lay down some paper, because as you can see, we've got a lot of overspray. Oops. But then we'll get these primed, and then I'll probably let them dry overnight once they're primed, because it's actually like 12 o'clock at night right now. And then in the morning I'll come back, and these foot pegs on either side, along with the brake pedal, I guess you can call it, I'm going to hit those with some like truck bed coating, so they'll be more durable, hopefully, to put your feet on and for repeated use like that. And then the rest of the frame, well, I'll paint those first and then mask those off so they don't get hit by the purple that the rest of the frame is getting painted. And then we can reassemble everything. I got the scrub brake mostly set up. Alright, first coat of primer. Alright, well, I used a whole can of primer just on this first coat on the frame and forks. So, considering that's all the primer I have, that's all the work I'm doing tonight. I'll see how they look in the morning and see if I can just get away with the one coat of primer before we throw down paint. It smells like licorice.
So it's gonna be that beautiful.
I don't know why it looks blue on the camera though. I don't have a welder. I went down to the local auto shop in my town, and they were nice enough to run a weld along here to get the 3/16 plate onto the bolt. Another weld here for the bracket that connects to the brake pedal when you push your foot on it, and then 2 tacks on the end of this bolt to keep it from backing off. So that basically will keep all of this on here, but still loose enough that I can still rotate, since now it's non-removable really, because all the stuff was welded on it. So now I'm just taking my excessively large angle grinder and knocking all these welds down and making them look good. And then, as you can see, the body's already, or the frame is already primed once, and the bars are sitting behind me in the garage drying with the purple and the clear on them. And once I get done with this, I'm going to spray the pegs with the truck bed coating, and probably this base plate too, where the motor mounts, and same with this whole brake assembly. And then once that's dry, I'll match those off and paint the frame purple, and that should be dry by tonight, and maybe we can start assembling it. As you can see, the bike is 90% assembled. There's still a few things that I can't quite get to work on it, and that's why I won't be able to finish it by the time I go back to school, which I leave tomorrow to head back to class. But as you can see, we've got the frame all painted. I don't know why, but in all the shots on the camera, it turns up blue under this light. If we take it out in the sun, it'll look the purple that it actually is. This is like a Mopar, like plum purple that you'd see on a vintage muscle car. It's not this blue, so don't let that fool you. It's like a Mopar purple. And we strayed from the initial plan of initially just doing these with the undercoating, and we just did the entire bottom because I don't want to worry about the motor like scratching it up when we moved it around. The problem is, I don't know what's up with this undercoating, but it sucks. Like, literally, this is just rubbed off from our feet sitting on it. It's not like we scratched off or anything. It's literally like, if I sit here and like rub this, it like, look, it comes off on my hands. So that's a bunch of junk, and we're gonna have to come back and repaint the bottom, which is a real bummer. But everything's pretty much assembled. The only thing I couldn't get to go is the motor. And the frustrating part is that I'm really good with motors, and when we took this bike apart, it ran. And now that it's reassembled, it won't. And that's the part that's really frustrating me. But that's all together. The chain's not on because it broke a link. The brake that I engineered is working fine. We grabbed a rusty old spring out of my junk box just to make this work. And as you can see, it'll go and rub against the tire. So you can stop the bike, and now it's better than using the Flintstone style, foot to bring yourself to a stop. But that's gonna wrap it up for now. I'm sorry I couldn't finish this in the time. I only had a week to do this. We did all this work in a week between me and my friend Dan, which is pretty good. But I know this isn't car audio related, but I hope you guys enjoyed it because this is something I really enjoy doing. So next time you guys see this bike, hopefully it'll be finished.